Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, hello. I can't, for some reason, I can't get to Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire levels.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. There it is. Wearing the good old meringue mask.
Classic. Faux show.
Classic indeed. What are we doing?
The Gamers 2 podcast for the week of January, was it 25th? January 25th.
And what is your quest?
2019.
And what is your favorite color?
I don't have one.
I'm starting off the references early. That's Monty Python. We're moving on.
Oh, yeah, they've added all those to Netflix.
Have you not seen Holy Grail?
No. I'm not the biggest fan of Monty Python.
It's just one of those ones where like we love British comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, I'm like,
Yeah, it's very like it. I don't know why. I tried watching. What's the one that's The Life of Brian? Maybe
Life of Brian. Yeah.
I tried watching that.
History of the World.
Basically, like they added all I don't want to say all of them because I know there's a lot of it. They added a ton of Monty Python to Netflix.
I was saying because there's the entire TV series.
And I've perused a lot of it, and I just can't seem to like get into it.
Flying Circus. Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Something like that.
It's something like that. Anyway, I got all like 18 seasons or something on DVD for my dad years ago. It was right when he had a surgery, and it was like perfect. Binge it. Good luck finishing it. It's a ton of stuff. But nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. I'm done with Monty Python. In theory that I can remember for the next few.
I'm sure something will creep back in.
Trojan Rabbit. I don't know. Yeah, so the Gamers 2 podcast for the week of January 25th, 2019. What have you been doing in the last 7 days?
Not a whole lot. I mean, besides for the obvious, like, you know, I finished.
Besides for the obvious, he says, which means anime and nothing else.
Well, no, I've watched some anime. I've, you know, kept up on the shows. Most of them are ending. Their seasons are done. They're all been good. No duds this year so far. I think I did a good job of avoiding the bad ones.
There you go.
Nothing new. Finished Odyssey. Finished my Odyssey with Odyssey.
Well put.
Don't know what I'm going to move on to. I have to go back and
Anthem
look at the
in 2
list.
weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, you got 2 weeks.
2 weeks is plenty of time.
2 weeks is plenty of time, but it's just going to be what do you want to wedge into those 2 weeks? Because my thought that I'm finishing Odyssey in 2 weeks is getting thrown out the window, probably.
Yeah, there's no way.
I think I might potentially try to slide Detroit in. But anyway, that's a...
Did you see how many hours?
Of Odyssey?
Yeah.
By that, do you mean, did I look at the other doc that you...
Yeah.
I did look at it. I believe you were somewhere around here.
93.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So... Yeah. I'll get there. I always do. My real goal is get there before Division. That's my true goal because Division is the next one that I'm like 100% committed to. Anthem, I'm still trepidation. Division is my big Division and the show both drop the same month. I'm not playing something else during that time, like unless it's also Anthem. So it'll be
Division.
It's
3
March.
weeks.
It's March.
March
15th. So I got time.
What else have I been doing?
And we know that if I really sit down with it, I can move.
Yeah, you don't have to partake as much as I did.
I don't have to. Never mind.
But what else has there been in the life?
In the life of the man to the way, we see him go to the cornucopia and take but a fruit.
Nah, that's it. That's really it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, just a lot of Odyssey, I feel like, and just to try to get it off the plate.
Yeah, get it burned, get it done. Moving on.
It was starting to get in. I don't want to say it was.
I also saw what you wrote. So.
It was wearing thin. Yeah, no spoilers in there. So just,
no spoilers.
No.
Thoughts on the ending? I don't know what it is. I just mean like overall thoughts, like a disappointment, or like you see it coming, or out of left field Shyamalan twist.
No,
they were in the village. They were right next to the city the whole time.
It doesn't ever really peak. I feel like it basically maintains the same steady course and pitch and tempo through the whole entire thing, and it just kind of. I
guess that's not bad, because that's sometimes the problem I have with a book is that it ramps. We're building this whole thing till we ramp up, and then like in 2 chapters we're done, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's the end of the book. But at the same time, I'm like, we should be building towards something.
I get have you ever watched?
Nope.
The movie. I don't know if it's called Ulysses or if it's just called The Odyssey.
Oh,
I feel like every school makes you watch it.
I'm gonna say no.
And I very much feel like that's what they were going for, was that particular
okay.
where it's it's the Odyssey basically.
Right.
So he's taking this lifelong journey essentially. And I feel like that's what they were trying to create, but they did it without putting enough main story in there. And there's not enough
there's not enough meat. There's too much potatoes.
Yeah, and there's just not enough weight, and there's not enough. You don't have enough skin in the game. I feel like.
Almost more of you're playing a side character situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you NPC.
There's several Odysseys going on at once too. Like what they just describe as Odysseys.
Right, yeah, because it breaks that down early, where it's like this Odyssey and this Odyssey. And
yeah, it's very easy to finish them. I don't want to say out of order, because you can finish them in any order. But
right.
There's obviously an order that makes sense.
Okay.
And an order where it's like, I'm probably seeing this too soon. And I very much...
Here's the ending to that Odyssey.
Which takes place after the rest of these other Odysseys.
Yeah.
So, it's very much like you can... If you step back and look at the Odysseys, it's very much like, oh, this was the order that they intended you to finish these in. And
right.
If you get impatient, you might perhaps...
run into the wrong one at the wrong time.
It doesn't affect the story so much as it's just like, oh, that kind of took me out of it for a second there.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't know that.
But yeah, you read the thing. I like it. It's so close, but so far away at the same time. That's all. That's all I got.
So close, no matter how far. Metallica.
Yeah.
Anyway. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of I want them to do a Macedonia, Alexander the Great, Persia themed one, but it's too close.
Oh, way too close. We're getting on the verge of Assassin's Creed going back to the future. That's all I'm saying.
There was I saw a couple frames in a cutscene, and I was like, I bet that's where they're going next. And now I can't fucking remember what it was. Oh,
Man,
well.
It can't be further back. That'd be Primal.
No, it was, I can't remember what the hell it was now. I'll randomly remember it and text you or something.
Okay.
What have you been up to? Because obviously, I'm always boring. I'm always one game and done. One and done.
The other half of Gamers 2. The more culture.
I wouldn't go that far.
I couldn't even say it without laughing. So I played a little bit more Let's Go Pikachu. Pika. I've played some more Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I got past the Snake Dick. I have still been playing MLB The Show.
That I feel like this is the longest you've played in MLB.
It's the longest that I can say I've consistently played it, because while I played the one before this, like into December probably, or close around there, I didn't pick it up after that. It was just on my shelf. This I picked back up, and I was just like, I'm going to go, and I've just been going again, and I can't stop.
They must have done something
at
right.
At a certain point, I'll be able to stop, because I will reach a point where I no longer, there's the way they do certain things. I'm playing the Diamond Dynasty mode specifically, and there's certain ways they do things, like with card turn-ins and stuff, that I'm just not playing. I'm not going to play the market for it. I don't care to do that. So I will stop once I no longer can attain things just by playing like that. Nope. Later. Too much. Nope.
Yeah.
Not doing it. Then played Battlefield 5. The new challenges have dropped. Squad Conquest sucks. I'll say it, and I'll stay there. That's all I'm going to say. I did it. I got it done. Don't like the game mode. Started a new save with Kenny in FM19. Still been playing Guacamelee. Still, this is where I'm going to get like real into some shit. I got to think now for a bit. Still been playing Stardew.
Uh-huh.
The one I forgot to fail to mention a little while ago was I played quite a bit of Overcooked 2 with Todd while he was in town.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious and entertaining.
Classic games.
There are ghosts in the studio that apparently can touch things. Played a little bit of the Swords of Ditto with him as well. Never went back to that, though. Played a lot more Overcooked. I have one for us to play later. We have both kind of dabbled in the Anthem demo. I have not started Detroit.
Detroit's good.
I have it installed. I just haven't had like a good sit down time to do it, because I've just been doing a bunch of stuff otherwise.
Yeah.
And then
you'll probably appreciate the fact that you can very much do the game in chapters, so you can like pick it up, do a little slice, and then walk away.
Right, which is what I want to do. I want to do it like this chapter this night, next chapter, and play it the way that I would play a Telltale game, where I do episodes a night. So yeah, that's everything I think I've played. I picked Overwatch back up for a little bit just for funsies. I've been enjoying that. Just it's more of an arcade shooter than Battlefield, where it's more simulation. So
yeah,
get all these stupid abilities and have a lot of fun with it. Cool, fun time. Then I stopped reading the book that I was reading. I couldn't continue. It just.
Sometimes you just gotta let it go.
I had to, man. I couldn't hold it back anymore. So then I started reading a new book. I'm very, very little into it. I'm debating if I want to buy like the audio version of it, like the Audible.
Yeah,
thing. It's only like $1.99, and then just listen to it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm at work, I can throw my headphones in. Like people don't question me. I still answer emails and whatever. So. Throw my headphones in and listen to it. But this new one is called The Killer Collective by Barry Eisler.
That sounds interesting.
It does. The picture reminds me, the cover reminds me of the movie Now You See Me. The People. Yep.
Yeah, I saw it. Faux shizzle.
And it's like I said, I'm barely into it. You saw 2% was on there. It basically seems like it's going to be a gaggle of people trying to figure out, Clue. And then I've been watching football. I'm not going to talk about football. For anybody that's curious, I'm a Saints fan. You can figure it out from there. I'm a Manchester United fan, which have won their last 7 or 8 games now as of the win today. So, woo, go Man U. And basketball, been watching that too. Thunder fan, here we go. And then we're coming up on MLB season, boys. Woo! And we've been watching the Grand Tour.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Not so much all that other sports nonsense.
Yeah, Grand Tour is always enjoyable, and it's actually entertaining to be able to watch a new episode with Matt after both just being able to talk about Top Gear for so many years, but not actually watch it.
I'm looking forward to this special they're running.
So that second part is already out.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saving it for next week. I didn't want to double up on a 2-hour thing tonight.
Mm-hmm. They do 2 parts at once, or
I don't know. They just released it. No, we're not behind.
Okay.
They just.
Huh.
I don't think we're behind. I don't think we're behind. I'll say that. Hi, Max. And I'm going to hit on a couple things real quick. We have tried 2 beers tonight. This is just people are curious, I feel like, all the time.
Yeah.
So we tried this sour, sweet.
The Dissident?
Yes. Beer out of, I think it was, I don't remember now. Shit.
I don't remember either.
It's out west.
I want to say like Oregon, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, might be that. Holy shit. Sour.
Yeah, it's I don't even know. It was like extremely sour, and then a tart up front, and then the aftertaste like screamed grape soda to me.
Yeah, it was like a non-carbonated grape soda, but tart. It was weird.
Yeah,
it wasn't awful. Like I've had the one sour you brought over that one time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dewey left at your house.
Yeah,
was way more sour, almost like I wouldn't drink it sour.
Yeah,
that one was a fruity sour, while not my preferred choice. Wasn't awful.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember that one? Yeah.
I
think I poured that out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like sours are just so bizarre to me. Like I just never know like how to take them. You know, like
yeah.
I don't know.
Spoonful of sugar, man.
I guess so.
The other one that I am currently finishing off is a pale ale called Groundbreaker from Portland, Oregon. And Matt and I both approve.
Yeah, it was good. Balanced. Well balanced.
Very well balanced. Good flavor. Not a burn.
Mm-hmm.
But good, it's just all around. It's a solid pale ale.
Do they label that as an American pale ale, or does it just say pale ale?
It just says pale ale, dry hopped with Cascade and Meridian hops. And chestnuts. Belgian-style candy syrup, so I don't know if that changes anything. Tapioca maltodextrin.
Delish.
It's gluten-free.
They have this enzyme that you
and according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcohol beverages during pregnancy.
That makes sense.
I don't even see a percentage on here, by the way, so yeah.
It's a secret.
Yep, anyway. That's and then we had this pizza, a smokehouse barbecue pizza from a local place in town. Bacon, brisket, chicken, barbecue sauce, hot peppers, tomatoes, regular peppers. It was a good time.
It was delicious. It was almost like a flatbread pizza.
It was like my failed pizza, but better. In almost every way. I say my failed pizza. I'm sure her recipe was great, but I love to butcher everything she gives us. So we'll get to more of that in this next episode. Foreshadowing. Anyway, shall we move on with the actual video game nerd stuff?
I suppose.
Then it is time for new releases that Nate actually wrote down this week. And we start with number 1. Realm Royale, officially released for Xbox. Now he threw this one in because it's just a fun title. Here we go. Senran Kagura Burst Renewal, Bursting at the Seams Edition. And Tailor Made Edition, both for PS4 and PC.
That is a title.
Yeah, it is. The Hong Kong Massacre for PC. That's that game that looks kind of like Hotline Miami mixed with Sleeping Dogs, the top-down one.
Okay.
I think that was Devolver's. We saw it at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes Trials for Xbox. The Walking Vegetables Radical Edition for Xbox. Unruly Heroes, Xbox. Life is Strange Episode 2. Resident Evil 2, PS4, Xbox, and PC. And Steamroll for the Xbox.
The hype with Resident Evil 2, I don't quite get it.
I think a lot of people just really liked what 7 did.
Yeah.
And then when they said, we're going to take 7's engine and put it back on 2, which a bunch of people liked 2, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
it was just like it's almost like a fan service thing, but that it worked really well. Is what it seems like to me, because it seems like a lot of people that are Resident Evil fans are pumped.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen a ton of people that aren't Resident Evil fans say anything either way. Like they've said maybe that is good, but they don't have like a comparison level or anything. You know, there's not the nostalgia factor kicking in. And to get into the news, I will go.
Choose wisely.
I'll go. I'll go first. Mostly because I really want to hear you read the second story, so I'll go first.
All right.
Into the flashy news headlines. That's how good the segment name is, because Nate couldn't think of anything else to write when he wrote up the doc the very first time. Once again, if you want this segment sponsored, or to have or to have any other better name, tell me a better name. Reddit.com/r/gamers2. Please. Number 1. Here we are again, another week, and with it, more updates to previous stories. Ooh, a recap topic. As you may remember from last week, we briefly touched on the backlash from the DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Essentially, the player character was forced into a relationship, which was counter to how the core game was set up. Anyway, a Ubisoft community manager made a short post on the Odyssey forums with an update. After hearing player feedback and discussing, quote, after hearing player feedback and discussing within the development team, we are making changes to a cutscene and some dialogue in Shadow Heritage to better reflect the nature of the relationship for players selecting a non-romantic storyline. These changes, along with renaming a trophy/achievement, are being made now and will be implemented in an upcoming patch. We've also been carefully looking at the next episode, Bloodline, to ensure the paths that players experience mirror the choices they make in the game. End quote. My God, JR, we got a Mass Effect 3 ending problem.
Yeah, well, originally they said, "Oh, we're going to change the upcoming."
Right. Yeah. And I said I can't see them reverting this one.
Just kidding, retcon.
And then the Wookiees run off the entire time. You're like, what are you doing? But hey, power to them for being able to pivot on a dime and listen to the community and go, we fucked up, we understand, we'll take care of it. Not the Mass Effect one where it seemed like it was a bunch of weird outcries and then them being like, we're not doing that, and then be like, yo, no, you're doing that, and then finally they caved.
Well, I guess.
It was a really weird one there.
It makes me curious about their development, though. Like, if they're able to make changes and modify stuff that quickly and have it still come out, on par with everything else, like, that's interesting. And why can't other companies do something similar? Yeah, I mean, they could just have it. Yves Guillemot could have his majestical powers of a Super Saiyan floating through that office. Yeah. Either they have, 1,000 people working on it, which could be the case, it's Ubisoft, or they have, a game engine that's, fairly adaptive. The bottom of that beer is warm. I wonder if it was unfiltered. Get all the yeasty goodness. I didn't get grainy. Okay. But yeah, I've had that. That which reminds me, the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other 3 are the other 3 are currently still out of the fridge. Darn it. They're going back in. Anyway. Okay, where was I? Number 2. I can't count, Nate. I can't. Okay, so here I'm going to do a visual representation for you. Ready? Un. Dos. Oh. It's your quinceañera. If someone were to ask you what game
This is racist.
should have an esports league, I'm fairly confident that Farming Simulator would not come up.
But Matt, Farming Simulator is awesome.
I'm not disagreeing with
The
that.
amount of times that we have mentioned Farming Simulator on this podcast
is a lot.
As a shit-eating joke.
Have you ever played it, though?
Well, meanwhile, it thrives. No, I've never played it.
Neither have I.
Do I feel like I should?
Maybe.
Kind of, yeah. I don't tell you what, P.O. Box Gamers2 at something, whatever my address is. If you want to see us play
you know what?
Farming Simulator.
What's a little foreshadowing because it's in the story, but we should hit up this 3v3.
We should get a local 3v3 tournament going.
A farming.
You, me, and Dewey versus any 3 people around the greater New York area that want to come step to our.
I'll raise some nasty corn, okay?
You think the fucking Halo thing was cool, where you were fighting between your 2 towns? Wait till I out-farm you, bitch.
Except someone from up the road will probably come down and bring their real farming knowledge.
Oh, yeah, someone from up the road. My neighbor across the street that's 98 will be like, you listen here, bitch. Watch this. And he'll 3 days in, he'll be harvesting corn, and I'll just be still planting seeds because I've been just dicking off the entire time.
Buying tractors.
Anyway, you might want to start that one over. Just say.
Well, the moral of the story is that Farming Simulator is definitely getting an esports league. The league was announced via the game's website and apparently will feature 10 tournaments across Europe. That's the interesting part, I feel. This game must be huge in Europe, I'm assuming.
What else do they have to do? Play FIFA? Soccer and farm.
Believe it or not, this isn't the first season for tournaments for the game, as it found success in 2018. But this new season will have a significant increase in the prize pool. Teams will compete to win about $110,000 for the championship, and $250,000 will be spread across the 10 tournament prize pools. For reference, from another story that I didn't add in, that's more money than the World of Warcraft esports leagues. Both of them combined.
I 100% believe that. I don't even question that. I won't even ask you what source you got them from. I believe you. If you told me it was more than the League of Legends or Dota one, we'd have a problem. But
yeah.
Continue.
Farming Simulator 19, which is the game being used for the new esports league, is getting a competitive 3v3 mode, which makes sense, obviously. If it's going to have its own esports league, it should have a competitive mode. Giant Software, who make Farming Simulator, said that the development of the new league won't interfere with updates to the game, so casual players can rest easy. Yeah.
So this might get talked about more than any other story because it's just going to be me going on about it. But when, as you know, I was stalking the live editing of the doc last night. And I was playing FM with Kenny at the time. And I wrote that headline in, obviously. Yeah. And I'm reading some of the stuff you're writing. And I'm talking to him about it. I'm like, can you believe this? And he's like, he's like, people play that? And I was like, a lot of people. Like, weirdly, it's weirdly popular.
Yeah.
And especially in Europe. But I was like, I'm actually curious to watch. Because I don't know what's going on in the game, but I'm super curious to watch at least like one weekend of it.
Yeah, what does that look like?
Because what does it look like? What do you do? Is it a 3v3? Are you all 3 of you working on the same farm?
How do you
have to rotate?
How do you determine who wins? Like is it production?
Is the first day one person, the second day another? Like I just want to watch because I'm I'm invested because I'm confused and I want to learn. I don't want to learn the actual, like, the deep strategy. Like, as you can see here, he's doing a Z through the middle of his field because when he comes back to do lines later, that will be the fastest way that he can farm.
There's so many questions, though. I don't want to know that. When they're getting in, is there going to be different equipment? Like, what if everyone picks the same tractor? Why are they picking that specific tractor? Like, I'm like, what is...
Does the speed gear ratio on that tractor happen to slightly benefit itself versus the slightly increased 1-inch width of the tire on the other tractor? Time will tell, sir. Time will tell. Can I buy upgrades to my tractors? What can I tow behind my tractors? Do I need specific tractors?
That
for
gets into a whole other thing. What about farm layout?
Am I actually farming or am I doing racing games with tractors? I need to know.
We have a lot of questions. I might have to look up the schedule and see if we can get some
The problem
live
is every
streams.
time that somebody tells me an answer, I'm going to have 6 more questions. And if you didn't think that was crazy, number 3. The adventure continues for Slightly Mad Studios' Mad Box console. CEO Ian Bell shared via Twitter some rendered designs that could become the console's controller. The overall design seems to follow the Xbox controller's school of thought and with a dash more RGB. Give me them colors.
Rainbow.
Some of the more interesting design elements include pedals behind the controller, somebody called the Xbox Elite controller, and a screen built into the center where the PS4 touchpad is. Ooh, somebody called Wii U. Although the designs may look aesthetically appealing, I don't know how realistic it would be to put an LED screen inside a controller. Matt missed the notes on the Wii U. Oh, wait, it didn't sell. And I can't imagine it would be cheap. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You can get little LED screens. You can just pop them on top of a Raspberry Pi and call it a day.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. It's depending on what they're trying to do with that screen is the problem. Am I trying to make that like a Stream Deck where I can map hot buttons to that? So I'm like, oh my God, I need to shift down. Screw doing all this stuff. Shift. That's saying I'm playing a racing game. Not like
It's just
interesting. It's the more part that scares me is that they wouldn't. Usually the controller price I think isn't like in the console price initially, like the one that comes with it. That doesn't really affect it too much. It's whatever the bought, like your second controller problem becomes.
And no one wants to spend.
Nobody wants to spend. I don't want to spend $60 on a controller, and that's what they are.
I can't believe that Switch is successfully selling controllers for $80.
Are they?
I have yet to see them on sale.
I think they're constantly on sale on Amazon, or like I say, constantly on sale. I'm pretty sure they're almost all the time, or close to it, on sale on Amazon. So
maybe.
And that's Joy-Con specific. I mean,
that's one. Yeah, those are absurdly expensive. But although you could argue it's technically 2, but
yeah, because you can buy one. But it's interesting to see still more stuff coming out about this Mad Box console. Please name it something.
Yeah,
we also need to get at some point the results of the Twitter campaign of their slogan.
Yeah, I'm like. I'm very interested. Like I'm like kind of like the dude sitting on the corner eating popcorn, watching the situation unfold. Because like,
oh yeah, I'm the popcorn gif.
I'm not invested to where I want to see the console succeed. I'm just not sure where it's gonna go. Like I feel like it's going to fail.
Yeah, I'm scared it's Ouya, and that's the problem.
It's hard for me to comprehend that something like this could be successful. But it's like he's going so hard, and it's like getting so much hype that I'm feeling like it's going to hit that point where it's going to be too big to fail.
Yeah, where now it's a serious thing, and everybody's like, oh.
So maybe it limps along for like 2 years, and then it, peters out and goes away.
Yeah, or it limps along for 2 years, and they're like, send it.
Yeah, gonna
send it.
We need more of that attitude in the video game world.
Somebody tried, but he's doing everything illegally and wrong. Soldier boy.
So I've started a new trend here where like I've just been leaving out lawsuits because we literally could make a lawsuit podcast.
Oh yeah, we could name it Lawyers Are Us. And then the immediate disclaimer at the beginning of the episode is we aren't lawyers. And then we'll just talk about bullshit the entire time.
And it'll just be like, who's suing Fortnite this week?
Yeah. Do you want to have something, you want to make money off the gaming industry? Sue it. And in our segment of things you should sue for, we see this dance that so-and-so could claim they own.
Claim
sue
this
them.
Dance. All right. Number 4, Sony is expanding their PlayStation Now service to more regions in Europe.
Holy shit.
Sony said they will announce specific release dates soon, but I assume it'll be after the February beta. Spain, Italy, Portugal, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Sweden are the countries gaining PS Now support. Thought that was just, a little sprinkle in there just to keep an eye on PlayStation Now. We're watching you, motherfucker.
It's more of the, hey, we're not dead.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's about as good as you can say about PlayStation Now.
Is surprising. That friggin' service costs $20 a month.
I like that you switched it to friggin' then, but then said, we're watching you, motherfucker.
I don't want to keep just dropping F-bombs, but $20 a month or $100 a year. That's a lot of money for PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if they're like, if it's successful in any way, if they're rolling out services because they're eventually going to be like, hey, we're switching this up to something to compete with Game Pass, or what the deal is. So just watch, keeping an eye on the ball over there.
I'm sniffing out what you're doing. I'm seeing you. I'm watching you. Private eye.
All right.
Watching you. All right, number 5. We're reaching the end of the fiscal year, so naturally every game will get pushed out of it. Oh, sorry.
Should have foresaw that one.
Should read what Matt's actually writing. We're reaching the end of the fiscal year, so naturally groups like the NPD and Entertainment Software Association, ESA, as well as analysts are releasing revenue figures and growth percentages. According to the NPD group and the ESA, Americans spent $43.4 billion on the games industry. That's $43.4 billion with a B dollars on the games industry. Hardware revenue grew 15% over the previous year, while software revenue grew 18% over 2017. That's a really weird way to show us that. Okay. The NPD group also named the Nintendo Switch as the best-selling console of 2018 in both unit sales and dollars. Not surprising. Red Dead Redemption 2 was the best-selling game, but we should note that the NPD group doesn't currently track digital sales, meaning that Red Dead sold even more.
Speaking of digital sales, analyst firm Superdata.
Oh, holy shit. There literally is a transition right into 6.
Says that Fortnite made an estimated $2.4 billion.
So we're gonna stop you right there.
Yes.
Because I just want to do some quick math. So let's see. If Americans spent $43.4 billion throughout the entire industry,
yes,
and if you're about to do this math below me, I'm gonna stop talking.
I'm not, but I'm gonna add more to it because that's the point I'm getting to.
Okay, so $43.4 billion in the games industry, and $2.4 billion of that went to Fortnite.
Yep. Well, they don't track digital sales.
And they don't track digital sales. So
everything
$20 billion went to Fortnite.
They don't track digital sales, so everything I'm about to mention isn't counted in this figure, the figure that you just said. So, anyways, where were we? $2.4 billion for Fortnite. Obviously, they were at the tippity top of the mountain when it comes to free-to-play games.
Oh, but they were only halfway up, folks. You better get that reference. Moving on.
But the other games pulled in bank too. Tencent's Honor of Kings, known as Arena of Valor in the West, made $1.3 billion. League of Legends made $1.4. Pokemon Go made $1.1. Candy Crush Saga made $1 billion. And PUBG made $1.035 billion. I don't know why they got so deep on the decimal on that one. Those figures are impressive. I imagine the $43 billion in revenue from the American game industry might be double that if it included digital sales.
There's a good chance it could be. But Superdata is saying that they would do digital sales, right? So it's saying that
Superdata is just looking at digital sales. Free-to-play games.
Yeah, so I guess because the MPD and ESA don't do it, so they spent 43.4, meaning that another like 50 billion just in what we just said right there was spent digitally between those games alone.
Yeah.
And then it's also funny to mention specifically Tencent, because Tencent's Honor of Kings owns Arena of Valor in the West, $1.3 billion. Tencent also owns a giant stake in League of Legends, so there's another 1.4 for them. Tencent also owns part of PUBG. There's that. Candy Crush is Activision, so who cares anything we say about Activision Blizzard having a problem? They made $1 billion. Pokemon Go is still killing it. Not surprising.
Yeah. It's all very interesting.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. And now we move to, speaking of it, number 7.
That kind of worked out.
It's going to work out constantly. I'm going to segue this thing like the crazy madman I am. Why did I choose this? Because I just read number 9. All right, here we go. Number 7. Blizzard has apparently nabbed the creative director for Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3. Sebastian Stepien, who worked for CD Projekt Red for 13 years, seems to have stepped into a creative director position at Blizzard, if his LinkedIn page is to be believed. You liar! Sebastian was acting as creative director, narrative director, and setting director for Cyberpunk 2077. Didn't we already call him the game director? Oh, sorry, creative director. Yeah. So isn't that? Whatever. When he left this month, so it'll be interesting to see what he'll be doing at Blizzard. Which is interesting because I bet it's a mobile game.
What if it is, though?
It's probably not. My guess is it's either helping to write whatever WoW's problems are. Mm-hmm. Probably not. It's probably more one of their new things that they're working on with all these air quotes new projects that they're supposedly pushing. So we'll see. Interesting. My part when I saw that was like, so Cyberpunk's done?
Yeah, that
was the weird.
I had two thoughts. It's odd. It's generally odd for someone who's obviously higher up on the totem pole
and is at CD Red of all people.
Yeah, and working on Cyberpunk to leave before a project's over with. But it's also like I feel like in general that's strange. He worked for CD Projekt Red, which is very well regarded, and he went to Blizzard, which right now is not like. So I'm assuming they gave him fat stacks.
Yeah, which they apparently can't put back into game. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's situation's strange. So I wonder if they handpicked him for a specific reason.
And he's got to see something we don't.
Yeah,
they had to have said like, "Hey, we want you to come in and do something with this thing."
My thought was, CD Projekt Red, if he did The Witcher and did Cyberpunk, like I don't know if they have something crazy in mind for like a new whatever the current form of Diablo project is.
Overwatch, Diablo 4, whatever the next step in Overwatch is, whatever Diablo 4 is. But they're not going to take Jeff Kaplan off Diablo or Overwatch, so it could be Diablo. It could, like I said, it could very well be something to do with WoW. There are clips
give them an expansion to fix the story.
There are. I don't want to get into WoW again, but there were screenshots that people put up of the mother console, which if you play WoW, know what I mean. It's, at least this expansion, the mother console, like voice lines, that if you let her actually talk everything she says, and she's talking about how like the Titans had this and how they spread like parts of things all over to all these other planets and stuff like that, and then it later on is like it has so many data bytes of this stuff or this stuff, and then it has the highest number they give is like self-portrait images, and it's like ha ha ha, they take a bunch of selfies, they're Titans, it's funny. But like when you read through it, it's like they could use that sentence right there as the loophole to we're shutting down World of Warcraft 2 Electric Boogaloo, and they take us to a new planet. They take us to a new planet, and we're doing the whole thing over again.
That's a good name.
You're welcome, Blizzard. Good luck.
Speaking of games that are not doing so hot,
Electric Boogalooing.
Fallout 76 is adding a survival mode into their survival game.
Wait a second. Aren't they a survival? All right.
The mode will essentially remove the anti-griefing system and mark all players as hostile. The risk is a little higher as well when entering combat in the regular, what they're calling adventure mode now. if you were to lose in PvP combat, you may drop your junk, which isn't necessarily valuable. It's literally junk that you use to like craft and crap. In survival mode, you could possibly drop your aid items if you're killed, which those are considerably more valuable. No one is sure if any of this will actually help, since they have a whole slew of new games coming out that they're competing against now. And higher level players who have been using exploits will clearly still have an advantage. So, yeah, it doesn't really fix any
No, it doesn't fix
problems.
anything. They're doing the PUBG method.
Yeah,
Give them more maps and guns and just
they're
push shiny things. Don't show them. Don't let them look long enough at the shiny thing to realize what's underneath the tinfoil. Just keep giving them tinfoil.
It's like it kind of shows how out of touch they are, because they're fixing something from the very beginning of the game that probably shouldn't have been necessarily in it, but now it's caused so many other problems that it's actually going to cause more problems by changing it.
It's the creation engine, man. You swap that X equals 1 to X equals 2, and everything, the fucking server shuts down, and they have to go revive Frank, who, as I said last week or the week before, is being held together with duct tape in the corner. He hasn't seen his family in 30 years trying to keep that damn engine alive. They don't let him go home.
Every time you make that joke, it just makes me a little bit more sad, because it's like too close to home. That might actually be the case.
Dude, you realize how much they've probably bloodlet Frank in order to...
Todd Howard probably has him locked in his closet.
He has to make blood sacrifices with Frank's blood to the machine to get it to keep running. And not to mention that they're still going to run the new Elder Scrolls on that and Starfield. Welcome to your hell. Moving on.
Yeah.
To a much more positive... I don't know the story at all. Number 9. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, or I assume that's GLAD, not GLADE, like I want to say.
I'm going to the GLAD.
Because it's 2 ways. All right. Or GLAD has added a video game category for the first time. Wait. Is it a awards thing?
Yeah, they do an award show. I kind of wrote this shitty.
Okay.
They do an award show called the GLAD Media Awards.
Okay. I got you. All right. So the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, or GLAD, has added a video game category to their award show for the first time in its 30-year media awards show history. The single category is simply called the Outstanding Video Game Award, and there are 5 nominees. Let's check them out. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Elder Scrolls Online Somerset. Now, this is always the weird thing. So they say an outstanding video game, and this is where I have to ask a bunch of questions.
Yes. Like, what's the criteria?
1, what's the criteria? 2, you said Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay, I understand. Then you said Elder Scrolls Online Somerset. Does that mean it stops at Somerset? Like, do you not include expansions after that? Or are you saying
I think they're calling out specifically Somerset. Okay. I didn't add it in here because we'd be here all day talking about it, but they actually have a website that gives a brief summary as to why that game's being nominated.
Oh, okay.
Which I pulled it up. I could probably, after you're done reading the list, I can probably go over it real quick and just kind
of peruse it for like what they're looking for in that category is more I'm wondering. Guild Wars, Path of Fire, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deathfire, a lot of fire, and The Sims Mobile. Holy shit, please let The Sims Mobile win Outstanding Video Game at any category.
So it looks to be the big thing. It's what you could probably infer is that it's inclusion of LGBTQ stuff.
That makes sense.
Like Odyssey obviously makes sense. If for people who haven't played Odyssey, you can play a male or female character, and you can bang all the male or female people.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard Matt and I talk about it, we bang anybody we can.
And
real life and the game.
A lot of the characters are very Greek. We'll just put it that way.
Oh yeah, super Greek. All that love and sex stuff, man.
Love and sex stuff.
It's a reference to the color purple. Here.
Somerset has transgender people in it.
Okay. I assume Guild Wars does too.
Guild Wars.
Is that Guild Wars?
Primarily players won't come.
Wait, Guild Wars Path of Fire. I assume that's Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire.
Yep.
Okay. I don't remember Path of Fire being an expansion for the first one.
Oh, did I skip the 2 on there?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Guild Wars 2 has LGBTQ representation, both major and minor. Looks like players have the same. The same thing for Pillars of Eternity, LGBTQ representation, and they're fluid with same-sex relationships.
And I assume Sims is too, obviously.
Yeah, so. Sims is the same way. So,
hey, cool, good for them.
Yeah, and they actually, I kind of like this in a way because obviously Assassin's Creed Odyssey is in there,
right? And
they had their little tiff that we talked about in the beginning of the show.
Their little snafu at the beginning.
And Glad released a separate statement about that incident, basically, and it was like, hey, we know we added them on as a nominee, and we stand by that. Like, we contacted them about it and had a good back and forth, and they told us what they were changing, and we thought that was great. And
even
blah,
then,
blah, blah.
even then, you could still use the explanations. You called out expansions of other games. You could just say that you don't recognize the DLC of Assassin's Creed.
True.
We choose not to recognize the Senator.
Okay. Well, you're up next on these 2.
Oh, I'm gonna get both. All right, cool.
Because I don't know. Well, I guess I could do Rage and Far Cry. I know that one. I don't know
that's
the
the
other
one
one.
I normally would be on. Here, I'll take both.
Okay.
Right? 1, 9, 1. Yeah, I'll take both. So, just in fun poking at Bethesda ways, Bethesda has released a Fallout 76 leather, or what they say is a Fallout jacket. It's a leather Fallout jacket. It looks like a vault suit. It does have the 76 on the back. It is $276. The reason that I labeled it Bethesda tarp jacket is because the first response when they released it was somebody linking one of those blue tarps that you can just get at Walmart to them and going like, why'd you make a jacket out of this? Because that's about as good as it looked. And then it was also everybody continuing. See?
Oh my God.
And then it was also everybody continuing to shit on them for the canvas bag thing where they're like, hey, yeah, look at this sweet picture of a canvas bag, and we're going to give you this nylon one. So everybody's like, oh, you're going to tell us you're going to sell us a leather jacket and then sell us this tarp. Matt, first impressions.
It's bad looking.
Yeah, for $276, would you buy that?
It looks like someone made it who just got into cosplay. And they're like, I'm going to make a vault suit out of duct tape.
Yeah, it looks like it's duct taped.
Yeah, it literally does look like duct. That's what it looks so close to a tarp that joke is too like that's too funny. Oh, Bethesda, I love you so much. This is great.
And then number 11 is Rage versus Far Cry New Dawn. And everybody loves pink. Everybody loves parfaits, and everybody loves pink. So Rage put out a new trailer and Far Cry New Dawn put out a new trailer and was getting a bunch of media coverage. And the Rage PR people at Bethesda and the Far Cry PR people started having Twitter fun with each other about their games, both seemingly looking very similar and also having a lot of the same aesthetic, to the point where Rage tweeted out, I guess pink is all the rage. Get pumped for new Rage 2 gameplay coverage next week with the picture Rage 2 Newer Dawn. Solid jokes. I like it. Far Cry New Dawn responded and said, glad you like our art. If you also need a trailer, here's a good one. Link to their own new trailer. And then Rage responded with, oh, sweet. The game looks great. Hashtag on Wednesdays, we wear pink. And then the Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other being the same.
I really enjoyed that back and forth. I wonder if do you think they get a hold of each other beforehand and like work this out, or you think that was just totally on the fly?
I think it was on the fly. The same way when you see like Wendy's Twitter blowing up on people, it's on the fly. They just let some random social media guy go for the day. They're like, yeah, have fun with it. You got about 3 hours. Just do what you want.
You could wreck some shit in 3 hours.
You can destroy some stuff in 3 hours.
I forgot that those games were coming out.
I like it, but at the same time, it's almost the way that works. It sounds like Far Cry almost took it like a little too seriously. Where, yeah, Bethesda's gonna poke fun and have it, and they're like having fun with it with the Newer Dawn and ha ha ha. Mm-hmm. And then the way they're like, yeah, well, here's a good trailer. You're like, whoa, hey, buddy, I'm having a fun time, like Spider-Man memes, Mean Girls quote, like.
I forgot about those games. When did they come out?
Eventually. Far Cry New Dawn's pretty soon. Rage is after that. I think Rage is March, April, May window, and Far Cry New Dawn is the late February, March, April, May window.
I heard that New Dawn adds.
They're supposed to both be pre-E3, I guess. There's my window.
I heard New Dawn adds in RPG stuff. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like
and
RPG
Joseph
elements.
Seed is an ally.
Did not see that.
Or right, Joseph?
Which,
Joseph.
We always fuck this up. Whatever that Seed is, who's alive.
Not Jacob.
It's got to be Joseph.
Because the other one's John Jingle.
John Jingle. February 15th.
Is
New Dawn.
Which is Anthem time, so sorry.
Rage 2.
But I also didn't play Blood Dragon, so.
I didn't either.
I'll enjoy.
Wow, okay, Rage 2 is May 14th.
Okay, yeah. I'll enjoy watching New Dawn. I probably won't be getting it.
That's actually a good idea. Maybe I'll watch it on Twitch or something.
Yeah, I'll probably watch, like, if Ray plays it, I'll probably watch him play it.
That's a good idea. That'll save me some money.
Brown man.
All right. We were graced with the presence of the GDC's yearly State of the Game Industry Report. This is a survey of game developers who plan on attending the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. So this survey should represent a good cross section of the industry.
I was gonna do a Todd Howard oil tycoon impression and ask if that includes him. Yeah. You got that tycoon? What about Death Claws?
Oh, Nate's dying. All right, we're gonna jump into these numbers here.
It really hurts to get that high.
44% say they work over 40 hours.
Well, so do I, but I don't.
With 69% of that number.
Heyo.
69% of that number giving the reason as, quote, self-pressure.
I can see that.
And 59% saying they didn't think the amount they worked was excessive. They could choose more than one response for working over 40 hours, so there is some like
overlap.
Yeah, there's some weird percentages there if you don't realize that.
Yeah, I'm self-pressured, but yeah, it's not insane.
Yeah. It was like the percentage for people who worked like a ridiculous amount, like,
80 plus
hours was like 1 or 2%. I can't remember exactly which one.
I believe that. It sounds correct.
Let's see here. Another interesting question was if Steam justifies its 30% take. And 59% responded with either no or probably not.
Agreed.
Which I find is very insightful. Like, I feel like we're going to see Steam drop their...
They have to.
If they want to stay competitive. Or they're
I mean, we've already seen it with Division leaving and everything else. Like, the joke is, you're not long for this world. We all know Steam's library is going to be fine, but it's you better start making changes, otherwise people are just going to start. Your big guys are going to start just being like, deuces, dude. I don't have time.
Hey, bud. All right, where else were we? Unions came up, of course. They were asked if they should unionize. 47% said yes. Nate just murdered something violently.
I don't know if that came
very violently.
I don't know if that came through on the podcast.
Oh, I'm certain it did.
I had to kill it.
What was it?
I'm sorry. Spider.
Jesus. I thought it was like a Black Widow or something about to kill Max. That was
if I have a Black Widow in this house, I'm blowing it up.
Yeah, dude, your shelves are falling over.
Go ahead and repeat the point that I just interrupted. I'll fix this.
Okay. Unions came up, of course. They were asked if they should unionize. 47% said yes. 26% said maybe. 16% said no. And 11% said, I don't know. And then they were asked if they will unionize, which is not, They don't seem confident. We'll put it that way. 21% said yes, 39% said maybe, 24% said no, and 15% said don't know. So, seems like generally game devs want to unionize.
As they should.
But they realize that it's probably not realistic. Which is sad but true.
Metallica. Also, I don't think you've ever gotten this, by the way, and you shouldn't, because I don't think you've ever played Animal Crossing.
No, I haven't.
But you should get that reference. He's basically Walmart.
Oh, okay.
That's what the... Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. They definitely should unionize. Like,
yeah.
There's no downside to them trying to better themselves. Like,
yeah. The only downside would be towards the corporations and their greed for keeping all the good stuff to themselves, like that cash flow.
Hey, corporations are people too.
Let's see here. PC is still the dominant platform for game releases, but this is the first year it was over half at 56%. So it actually went up, which I think is interesting because I would not have guessed that would be the case. Switch showed a significant increase in platform interest among devs, coming in second only to PC, which naturally makes sense because, PC has the biggest share.
You're going to have a hard time beating a PC sales.
Yeah, it's just easier, too, to release on PC.
Then again, if you see some of the shit releasing on Switch, and the PlayStation Store, it might be easier to release on PC, but holy shit, is there no curation anywhere. Anyway, that's a side thing.
We haven't heard about new consoles yet, and I guess neither have developers, as just 2% said they were working on exclusively next-gen games.
That's not the number I gave you.
Are you sure about that?
I feel confident in that.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. That's what I saw. I looked at the I looked at the GDC survey, so I think you gave me a stat for something.
I thought I saw another number. I definitely put the Union one in, and I definitely think I put one about the next gen in, but I don't know if I had the word exclusively in it.
Oh, that made a difference.
I think I had one that were developing for next gen, but not necessarily exclusively next gen.
Yeah. Which I think it would be a little bit higher.
It was much higher.
11% or something like that.
I think it was higher than that. I think it was closer to like 20 to 30 even.
Only 9% of developers surveyed are planning on using paid item crates or loot boxes. So that was
better get out of that soup fest. Well, then again, you talk to certain developers and they would be like, "No, that's not a paid item or a loot box. It's a random chance box that I pick up." Yeah, we call those fun crates, and you're like, "The fuck do you miss a loot box?"
Fun crates. There was a whole slew of stats that I don't know. They were interesting, but I didn't want to go stat crazy. Like they did a breakdown of VR, which I thought was interesting. The interesting part about it was that they had one of those who's interested in developing on these platforms, and like all of the VRs were like pretty close to each other. Like not one is favored over the others as far as wanting to develop on.
No, because I feel like everybody is just like, we kind of want to just get to VR. Like we don't care how we do it. We just want to have good VR, and it's even though those percentages were probably low in terms of like, would you rather develop for VR in general or not? Mm-hmm. Those numbers might be low, but it's just because it's so much to get a good one.
The other interesting part though was that they were asked where they what they saw was like what the next 5 years were going to bring.
Right.
Like, what would be the dominant
mobile games
reality? No, like as far as VR goes.
Oh,
and almost like there was an overwhelming response that everyone seemed to think that AR was the future.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've spit that exact theory before when we've talked about VR, when we demoed it at PAX and we did all this stuff. I was like, dude, VR is sweet, but when AR starts happening is when I start dumping money.
I don't know. I just don't have faith that they can pull off AR.
I don't have faith they can pull off VR.
True. We'll see.
You gotta have faith. We're going to Tahiti. We're going to be farmers at this place called New Guinea. Mangoes. All we need is to make a lot of smoke. And we get this boat. And then we're on this island called Guarma. Second off the east coast of Cuba.
And then.
I just need some money. I need some time. I need you guys not against me. Micah, meet me back at we got to talk about some stuff.
Work on the plan. The goddamn plan!
The goddamn plan!
Trying to pull up the survey.
Honestly, you know how entertaining that like game done over but taken with an equalizer and turned up would be?
We could do that.
Like rather than turn it down, where it's like, we're a goddamn plan. You turn it up, it's just like, we get a goddamn plan.
That was frightening.
Just like immediately Dutchy, you're just laughing at the entire time.
Frightening.
Miss Grimshaw. She always was a 2-bit whore. Huh? Holy shit. We should get somebody that can do the Mickey voice to reread all of Dutch's lines.
Back to the console.
Sorry.
16% are developing titles for existing and future platforms. I think that was the one.
Yeah. Are developing for it. Well, yeah, and I think they've used that to say that they're developing for future platforms.
Yeah, in consideration of both.
Right. Yeah, because that sounds right. Because you still have stuff like FIFA and whatever that releases on both generation, and you know, there's still, especially for the first couple years of a new gen, there's guys developing both. So
yeah,
rarely do you see an exclusivity kick off at the start of a generation, unless it's like console exclusive. That's the only time. And then some you don't see it for another however many years we're in Crackdown 3.
16% is still pretty low. Considering...
It's pretty low, but it's still pretty good. I mean, that's 1/5 if you round up. So
yeah, I think I kind of get the feeling that GDC skews towards smaller developers as well, not necessarily like the big developers that would be.
I think it's a mix of both, but I would say the pool is probably larger of smaller developers.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure they still grab some people from other ones, but I'm sure other ones are also so NDA'd that they can't say anything.
Faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle, can you click the link in the deals while I wax poetic? In the deals, I just wanted to go ahead and hit out Humble again for the monthly ones for January. You get Yakuza 0 and the Division bundle. Can you click the link, Matt? Holy shit.
The one that says caffeine?
Yes. No, the other one that's below that.
Well, it's just a weird link.
I know it's weird. It'll make sense when you get there. The monthly ones for January are guaranteed Yakuza 0 and Division. And therefore, you know,
I get weird things installed on my iPad.
You're not getting weird things installed in your iPad. I could do that differently if I wanted to. I'd give you a different link that I would name it Fluffy Puppies.
I'd fall for that.
I know. You'd click immediately. Be like, look at Milo pictures. All right, Yakuza 0 Division, and you get more on February 1st. But it's just a call out once again to Nate's favorite game. Not really, but he loved it, of Division, leading into Division 2 coming out in March. Now, I told Matt to click on a link that said caffeine. Matt questioned me the entire time, and now he will tell you about it.
It is the Humble Bundle. Bundle. All right, so pay what you want. And you get Headlander, Goner Blueberry Edition, Treadnoughts, which all are reviewed very positive on Steam.
Very positive.
And then Caffeine, which whatever Caffeine is.
Caffeine is a program. It's this streaming
social
thing.
Broadcasting.
Yeah, it's a streaming thing, but you just download it and you kick off, and you can stream that way. Like it's its own stream. It's another streaming platform. It's one that doesn't get talked about much. I remember when it first came out. I never tried it out or anything, but it's just another streaming thing.
Pay more than the average, which is $7.06, And you'll get this War of Mine, worth it on its own.
Yeah, worth it on its own just to watch Matt play for 2 hours and get really confused about why someone's dying.
True.
Because that happened, and it was glorious.
Ken Follett's The Pillars of Earth. And Dear Esther,
which is
Landmark Edition.
Which I've heard good things about. I just never played it.
All also positive on Steam. Pay $12 or more, and you'll also get Tyranny and Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun.
You say tyranny or tyranny?
Tyranny.
Okay. I'm just curious. I don't know what the correct phonetic way to pronounce it is. I've always said tyranny.
I've never thought about it until just now, and now I'm like, fuck.
I've always said tyranny.
Tyranny. That makes sense. Tyranny. We'll look it up. Maybe we're both right. It's probably one of those situations. Aluminium.
Tomatoes.
Also,
Ginger.
very positive reviews. And then there's a free World of Warships thing. I don't know if that's part of this.
No, that's just if you, I think you buy anything or sign up for the newsletter or something, you get free World of Warships stuff. And that's just for you to think about, I guess, if you want free World of Warships stuff. You nerd.
I haven't played Warships in a really long time.
I saw it on Steam the other day.
It's got a CV rework that came out and a lot of memes on it. People aren't liking it.
Oh, boy. All right, well, before I lose Matt to World of Warships, we have another episode to record where we talk about food. And Nate's weird Pavlovian thought with certain metal dishes. Yeah, he'll explain it.
All right, I guess.
That being said, bye-bye.